Welcome to the second episode of Yapaholics Anonymous, where people come to talk about their interests and hyperfixations in a place where they can be carefree and judgment-free. I am your host, Gavin Reynolds, joined today by two co-hosts who I will let introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Cal. I am your secondary host today. There's no one else here. He was just lying to you. I'm here to talk today about a couple of things that interest me, some of which include the recent Bendy movie announcement and a little bit of Ultra Kill, maybe. Now how about the ghost in the room?
First of all, there is a third co-host.
You don't exist.
Technically, you're the second co-host.
If you're hearing this other voice right now, you're having an auditory hallucination, unfortunately.
Anyway, Faith, please introduce yourself.
Unfortunately, hello, I am Faith, the second co-host.
Are you?
I am.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
Okay.
Sorry, we've been doing a bit of just like sniffing the mic like dogs for the past like 10 minutes. Okay. So, Cal, you're not even in the same club as me and Faith here.
No, I am not. I'm just a normal guy.
I think we'll let Mr. Him over here say what he wants to a little bit first. You can get the ball rolling.
Okay, Mr. Pronoun.
Mr. Pronoun.
So,
just a quick little side note for any of our viewers from last week. Caitlin is not here today, as you can tell. She's okay. She just wasn't able. I didn't get a hold of her today. And I want to kind of keep the cast like as varied as possible. Like I want to have like
I have
similar.
to get hold of her through Snapchat.
Like I want to have people here multiple times. Like I want to have Caitlin multiple times. I want to have Cal, Faith multiple times. I want to have Maya on here eventually.
I want to be on the episode where Maya shows up.
I will try and coordinate with that. With
my
you two.
lovely, wonderful friend Maya, who edits this wonderful show, because I was the one that actually brought her to you. So You're welcome, by the way.
Thank you. She's a great editor.
You ungrateful.
Ungrateful? Ungrateful.
I want to say a word, but I'm restricting myself.
You're right, because this is PG.
Unlimited aura.
This is PG.
Meow.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. When we were driving to and from SubasaCon, me and my cousin and her friends, literally me and Emma would start doing the meow, 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 like the Billie Eilish. And then Annalise and what was her name? I forget her name, but the other girl in the front seat, they would both be like, stop it, I'm tearing up. Stop, I'm literally gonna cry. I'm gonna cry and wreck the car.
Literally going to crash out.
I'm literally tearing up right now.
I love how we went from ungrateful to just meow, 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 meow.
Dude, listen. This is the energy that we were going for.
This is how you get the calm back. Just like meow, meow, meow.
Straight
I
up,
think that's
straight
the
up.
opposite of how you do that.
Or you gotta hit him with the.
I've got 2 tickets to Iron Maiden, baby. Don't say
Help.
maybe.
Someone help,
'cause
please.
I'm just a
I'm so
dirtbag,
scared.
baby,
I am
like
so
you.
scared. TikTok is a very disastrous place.
I knew that song before TikTok existed. Don't you ever put that dirt on my name.
I'm taking your phone away from you. You don't have any more phone rights anymore.
Dang, 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 dang.
But on this wonderful Halloween afternoon, we got a director release trailer for the Bendy movie, which is being produced by Radar Studios. For those who may not recall that weird time in the mid-2010s when indie horror games were just first coming out, Bendy and the Ink Machine is one of the, what I would say, one of the part of the holy trinity of indie horror titles and on the internet, alongside Five Nights at Freddy's and one other one that I don't remember the name of.
I feel like Bendy kind of came out a decent bit after FNAF, though.
Well, of course it did, yes. FNAF came out in 2014, and if I recall, the first Bendy game came out a couple of years after that. So, but it's been, ever since its release, it's still stayed at least relatively popular with certain people on the internet. Myself included, and it went on to have multiple different titles, including Bendy and the Dark Revival, which is a direct sequel to the game, as well as Boris and Bendy and the Dark Revival and Boris and the Dark Survival, I think. Yeah, I don't know if I switched up the names there for a second, but anyways, so it went on to have multiple games, some very questionable books of all quality
Of quality. Some quality.
As well as an equally questionable visual novel, which I don't want to talk about.
So when you say questionable, and if it's NSFW, please don't elaborate.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's just poorly written.
Okay.
I actually got one of the books. I don't know what
I'm
one
sorry.
it was.
I'm so sorry for you.
Could you like elaborate on how they're questionable? Like what about them is so poorly done?
Okay, so I should start off by saying that the Meatly and along with Joey Drew Studios, who are the people behind the game series, they have been known previously to have some very questionable writing choices. Questionable in the sense that it's not particularly
Sound?
sound. Yes, is a good word for it. Some very odd writing decisions.
That noise that just picked up was me moving my mic closer to my mouth so I could sit back.
Famously, the first game is a very good example of this because if you guys didn't know this, the first game's story was being actively developed as all the chapters came out.
That's really neat.
Yeah, so they actually didn't have any solid story for the first game, and they purely went off of, internet reaction and fandom sort of feedback as a way to sort of guide them to how the first game should have gone. And I'd say that they picked up the slack a little bit with the second game when it came out. Much more concrete story, provides a lot more it fills in a lot of the plot holes that the first game had. And unfortunately, they didn't really improve with the second game as much as the second game had better writing. It unfortunately still sort of fails to be a compelling game in the sense that it sort of makes the player intrigued by what is happening. I mean, of course it's intriguing, but it's just not particularly well written. It sort of has the same sort of problem that FNAF had with its games and the story, where
my big take, sorry to interrupt you, my big take on FNAF is that as like the first game as a piece of ambient and sound design horror is a masterclass, and I think that honestly, I think that Scott Cawthon, his ability he's not a poor writer, I'd say. I wouldn't call him terrible because there's some neat stuff in there. But I think what it is FNAF was his first horror game.
Yes.
And all of his previous work was either centered around his faith or centered around sort of this wacky sci-fi, almost 2000s internet feel stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like part of it is that this guy was like, okay, I'm going to go full tilt into these criticisms of my previous games. And then he made FNAF, which FNAF 1 is my favorite FNAF game by a long shot. I think that some of the other ones in there are genuinely good. And I have a lot of nostalgia for the series. But FNAF 1 to me is easily the scariest because FNAF 4 tries too hard. 3's gameplay loop is so silly to me that I cannot be scared by it. And 2 is just chaotic. Sister Location is only an experience the first time. And then after that, it's just oh, well, I already know what happens because it's all scripted and there's no real variability. The custom night for it's pretty cool. Pizza Sim is my second favorite game in the series.
Well, that's all and good, but we're not talking about FNAF today, unfortunately.
Well, I might talk about FNAF today.
Anyways, so back to what I was saying. So with how big that Bendy and the Ink Machine got, it eventually got the same treatment as FNAF did, and it's now in production in its own sort of feature film. Like I said, being produced by Radar Productions, and we had earlier this afternoon a director announcement finally dropped for it. And the guy who is directing this movie, what is his name again? Andre Oredal, I think that's how you pronounce it. He hasn't made a lot of what I would say at least like major. Yeah, he hasn't directed a lot of major films. There was 2 films that came out in the last, I'd say, the last sort of 5-9-ish years that sort of put him somewhere in the industry, and that's 2019's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Which is an adaptation of the very classic
a really good movie too.
horror
I like that movie.
books from that you two have probably read. I personally thought that it was an all right film.
I think that it was all right. It's like I like that it's kind of weird. Like it just kind of what happens and it happens, and then it just doesn't really like
elaborate any
yeah.
further.
It just leaves it as like, which I think is good because like it's scary stories told in the dark. It's these like. These tales, these like what's the word?
Mythological?
It's not mythological.
Not mythological, no, but like this almost like mythos of like people telling each other stories like that.
It's like one-offs.
Yeah, it's like that kind of mythos that forms when you're around a campfire and you're telling each other stories.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always make sense because you're just making it up on the fly. So I feel like kind of how like the way that I don't think that movie is particularly scary. But I do think that, like, if you look at it and think about, like, the context that it's, like, hey, literally called Scary Stories Told in the Dark, it fits. Because, like, the scariest scene in the movie is definitely, like, when he's, like, in the hospital or whatever and, like, the walls keep closing and that thing's following him.
Definitely.
But I think that, like, the vibe of, like, it doesn't need, like, a great closure because it's stories. It's tales. It's things you say around a campfire. And, scary stories don't often have a concise, clear end. It's usually implication to let your mind wander.
I suppose so, yeah. Well, regardless of your guys' opinions on it, it got a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb and a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's about what I...
The other film that he directed was from last year called The Last Voyage of Demeter, which is based off the section of Bram Stoker's Dracula about the ship that brought Dracula to London, that was carrying his coffin. And that got about the same score as Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It actually performed worse than the other film. It got a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb and a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. And so it sort of is very telling of his directorial work when they're really 2 of his most prominent scores in the field of cinema. And because of that, while it doesn't make me necessarily worried about the Bendy and the Ink Machine film, it does set the scene for how this is going to go, in that it's not going to be as great as as everyone would like it to be, but it's going to at least be a film that does its job, or at least in my opinion, that's what I feel is going to happen. I feel as though it's going to not outshine the FNAF movie when it comes to indie horrors being turned into films, but I do feel as though that it's going to do its job as a film and tell the story. Now, the only other concerns that I really have is how he'll adapt the lore of the original franchise, and how what visuals are going to be used. Is this going to be a mix of animation and sort of realistic animation? Is this going to be CG? Is what's going on here? Are they going to use practical effects? Of course, we'll get more information about this as more and more is revealed about the movie and as we get closer to the potential release date. But this is the most that we've gotten about the updates on the Bendy movie. And I'd say that overall, I'm still looking forward to it. I have a sliver of hope, but I'm not necessarily going to expect a movie that's going to impress me.
That's fair. Speaking of indie horror movies, you mentioned the FNAF movie.
Yes, I did.
The second FNAF movie is in production.
It is.
And it is like coming. Like, it's gonna happen sooner than I realized.
Yes, it is. It's going to be arriving next year in December.
I'm so excited, dude. They like showed the toy animatronics and stuff, and I'm like so stoked for it. Because the first one very pleasantly surprised me. I was expecting like a very meh movie, and while it doesn't stay fully faithful to source material, I think that's good because FNAF is source material. I think that my feelings on FNAF, you know, I love it with all my heart, but I don't like how it turned kind of sci-fi-ish towards the later parts of it. I like it. The thing for me is the horror that gets me the most is sort of vague horror where it's like there's a lot that you can interpret here. And I feel like FNAF 1 through 4 had that. And I don't dislike the later games. Like, I don't hate the sci-fi stuff. I think there's some entertainment value there. But I'm someone who values my horror games for their horror more so than I value, like obviously I want them to have a good story, but if they scare me, then they can get away with being a little lame story-wise. But the movie, the FNAF movie, the way that I watched it was in my computer science class in high school. We had no work to do, and one guy just like was like, "Hey, do y'all want to watch it? Because it came out today, and it's on. I think it was like Tubi or something."
Yes.
And he literally put it up on the like. He was like, "Teach, can I put it up on the smart board?" And we did, and all of us just sat there, and like 6 of us, and just watched it in class of our own accord, and it was awesome. And when the Living Tombstone FNAF 1 song started playing at the end, actual chills, dude. It's like that movie was made for like, how old was I when FNAF came out? Like 10-year-old me?
10-year-old.
Something like
10-year-old,
that.
9-year-old.
Around that. Like that was like good for my inner child. Because FNAF is something that's been a part of my life since it came out. Like the second, like as soon as Markiplier made that first video, it's been a very big presence in my life. Between like watching it be played, watching videos about it, playing it myself, it's been there for over 8 years.
Yep.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I wasn't that big into it as a child, but I did get into it like maybe late middle school into my early high school, and honestly, I ended up watching it with one of my friends who has absolutely loved FNAF for a long time, and I would say that it was a pretty good movie overall. I mean,
Also,
there were a lot of memes on it, but
also the beloved Josh Hutcherson was the main character.
I don't know, man.
Yes.
Listen, I never watched The Hunger Games. I don't particularly care about Josh Hutcherson.
I think that he is a lot more good looking in the FNAF movie than he was in the Hunger Games movies. I'm sure that he was more conventionally considered attractive back when he was playing Peter Malark, but I think that his current look also he's shorter than me, which is saying something because I'm a small guy.
What?
he's shorter than you?
What?
Josh Hutcherson is 5'5", I am 5'6", I think.
What?
Hold on, I will look it up right now.
I didn't even know that. Oh
Hold
my
on.
god.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either. That made me think of like how like unrelatedly like Kendrick Lamar
No,
is
sorry,
like,
he's 1 inch taller than me.
oh, okay.
He's
Taller.
slightly taller than me.
Okay, I was gonna say that makes me think about how like
Kendrick Lamar's so tiny.
Kendrick Lamar is a very tiny man. He is 5'5".
One of the best music artists of all time, and he's tiny.
He is small. He is a small boy.
So I wanted to keep it mostly on Halloween-related topics, but since it came out literally 2 days ago, I believe, Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. I don't think either of you have listened to it yet.
I have not.
Okay. Amazing album. I friggin' loved it. Not a single bad song on there. There was like maybe 1 or 2 that I liked a little less than the rest, but still were good. And honestly, I am so jealous. This one girl in my math class, literally, when I walked into math, I sit next to her every day. I sat down, I looked at her like tablet, laptop thing, and she was actively waiting to buy tickets for the Chromacopia tour to go see Tyler, Creator, and she got them.
That's
It
awesome.
cost her like
Crazy.
$647.
That's awesome.
But I think she was
Good
also
for
buying
her.
more. I think she was buying more than one ticket
Mm.
because she was using
hope
somebody
so.
else's credit card. I think, like I think her mother, like a friend or something. So I think it was literally like she was buying tickets for her and somebody else. She got like the standing section seats.
Dang.
That's
okay.
epic, dude. Like she was literally on that. She was on that like a hawk.
And that was only like what, $600 some?
Yeah, I mean, I am more of the opinion of the ever awesome Kurt Cobain that concerts should not cost such exuberant prices.
Real.
But I
Yeah.
do understand why they cost so much. Because it costs a lot to put together a concert. It costs a lot for all the travel, for the staff, for the equipment.
And like special effects
Yeah,
as well.
and people also do need to come away with a profit. But in an ideal world, we could live out the cheap concert ticket dream. They've also gotten so much more expensive in the past like couple decades. Like it's
Definitely.
rough.
Inflation.
Yeah, but well, there's inflation, and then there's like this is just insane because like from like the mid 90s to now is not like a the inflation wouldn't have brought it from like, oh yeah, you can get this for like less than $100 to $600. Not all tickets are so ludicrous now though. I think when I went to go see Mitski a month or two ago, I wasn't the one who paid for the ticket, but my cousin went out because at first I was gonna buy my own, but my cousin ended up buying it for me on the caveat that I would owe her later. And I think it was like no more than like $80 or $90, which is pretty decent. It wasn't like an amazing seat, but it was like not too far. I would have liked to be closer, but what can you do?
I was looking at ticket prices for like Glass Animals, and I think one of their tickets was like $60 maybe.
That's pretty good. That's
For where? Where in the venue that they're going to be held?
It was somewhere in Ohio. It was probably like Cincinnati.
I
Okay.
think he means like where would you be sitting?
Yeah,
if
where
bought
would you be
them?
sitting?
No clue.
Okay, because assumedly that the venue is going to be very large, $60 to me sounds like you're going to be in some kind of nosebleeds of some kind.
I think it was like the second story of like one of the arenas.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So it's not like terrible.
You'll have fun.
I mean, you'll have fun. Glass Animals, I think I would go see them if their third album just wasn't so bad.
I like their newest album though.
Why? That album is bad.
Well, there's only like certain songs that I've listened to, but I did like those certain songs.
So how much of them have you listened to? How much of their discography have you listened to?
I've listened to some of their earlier ones and like the Heat Waves, stuff
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Like definitely the new album isn't as good as some of their old stuff, but I definitely like Show Pony and Creatures in Heaven. Those
Show
were-
Pony is all right, but I personally feel as though after Dreamland they sold out so hard, and their third album just kind of shows. I don't know. I'm something of like a Glass Animals purist. I think that the first album, I think that How to Be a Human Being is the best album that they have made, and I think that it like stands so tall compared to their other work from like recently. I mean, Dreamland was pretty good. I liked that a lot, but I feel as though just ever since Dreamland and Heat Waves came out, they've just been on a downward spiral.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think that the only way to sort of get back to, what they're good at is if they sort of stop trying to appeal to the music industry so much. So I don't know. That's just me though.
Dude, speaking of bands that fell off hard, Panic at the Disco.
We know.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Panic's first two albums are some of the best pieces of music I've ever heard.
Yep.
And I like Vices and Virtues. I like Two Where to Live, Two Where to Die, and I like Death of a Bachelor. But after Ryan Ross left the band, it was on decline for a while. And by the time of Pray for the Wicked, Brendan Urie had a mark on his head because I tell you, he ruined that band's sound.
Death of a Bachelor was their last good album.
It was their last good album,
was their
and
last
it's
good album.
still noticeably worse than like their previous ones. Yeah. I think that if he had stuck with the sound Death of a Bachelor had, he could have successfully transitioned into that pop sound he wanted. But instead, he just made a bunch of trash, like faux catchy songs, and it was not good.
That weird collaboration he did with Taylor Swift kind of just sealed the deal.
I honestly stopped listening to Panic at the Disco after Death of the Bachelor, so
Yeah.
And as you should,
Straight
honestly.
up. The only I need to go through and purge my like songs because when I first got into Panic, I was but a young babe.
Yeah.
And I didn't have as good music taste as I do now. So I heard High Hopes. I heard Hey Look Mama. And I was like, hey, I like this. But then I realized, hey, this wore thin really fast. And I started listening to their older music. I was like, hey, they suck now. So I need to go through and purge all of the Pray for the Wicked from my playlist. When you went through my liked songs and removed everything that was in there from Viva Las Vegas, you lifted a ghost off my shoulders.
I did. You're welcome.
Because I forgot it. Because literally I was like, oh, new Panic album. Maybe I can have hope.
Let's just say you didn't really have high hopes for that.
That's corny.
I don't care.
I feel like it's so odd because you have like songs from playlists and then mine are just random Christmas songs.
What?
Like I have no idea
Mama, what?
why. Like you can
Mama,
go
Christmas
through,
ahead of you by like a month or two.
You can literally go through my
How many
songs.
okay, I'm curious because I've been trying to figure this out for a while now. Like what's the average amount of songs that people have in their likes playlist? How many songs do you have in there?
No, wait, guys, hold on. Josh Hutcherson is shorter than me. The internet lied.
Oh
He's
my
5'5".
God. Amazing.
I'm taller than him too.
We're all taller than him.
That's crazy.
Well, maybe not you.
PETA is supposed to be canonically 5'10" in the movie.
He probably had heels on.
He's supposed to be 5'10".
He probably wore heels.
Or like
Or he got actors that are like shorter than him.
In the movie Katniss Everdeen. In the books, I looked it up. In the books, Katniss is supposed to be around 5'4" and Peeta's around 5'10". The actor who played Katniss is taller
I love that.
than Peeta in the movies.
I love that for her.
Tall girl energy.
I love that for her. But anyways, going back to what I was talking about, how many likes do you have in your likes playlist?
It shows that I have 89 songs.
How many do you have in your likes playlist?
Hold on. Before we go with that, I just looked up a picture of Josh Hutcherson next to someone who's 7'1".
That is so sad.
I'm going to send this to Maya right now. Hi, Maya. Hi, Maya. Hi, lovely editor, Maya Truth. And in the video version of this episode, I want you to put this image on the screen when I mention it because it's actually so funny.
Oh my god. Oh my.
I think I've purged the Christmas songs.
He
They're
looks
not
like
there
a little
anymore.
gnome.
He's so tiny. This reminds me of like when like Young Gravy and Moist Critical like did cooking
my
together.
God, no.
So such a height difference, dude. It was so funny.
Oh my god. Anyways.
No, on the topic of Young Gravy, I am so upset because apparently he went to the WV festival in August and he played at WVU.
Traitor.
I am so
Why?
upset about that.
WVU is kind of like the bigger college, I think.
I know, but WVU is also kind of bad.
They have dropped so many programs, guys.
I
That's why everybody is here now.
Marshalls. I literally have a friend from Concord who's like, I think I'm gonna transfer to Marshall next year.
Thank God.
Straight up, like, girly. I know
Valid.
they have good esports, but we have good enough esports and better classes.
But anyways, how many likes do you have in your likes playlist?
My liked songs is
Has it changed?
it's changed a little bit because I've added some more of the songs I like. I have 954 songs. And the most recent one is It's Going Down from Persona 3.
Nice. I have.
Oh, that's sorry. I
Is
moved
that
my mic
Nolan?
again. I moved the mic again and it made like the squeaky sound.
You gotta stop doing
No, I
that.
hear someone outside going, ooh, ooh, ooh.
I mean,
Someone's choking.
Maybe.
Someone's actively
There's like
dying
a
as-
class going on pretty nearby in this
Someone's
room. It doesn't
actively
have-
dying as we're recording this, and
soundproofing.
we're not gonna do a thing about it.
It's actually me,
I
guys.
think
I
Maya,
am
you might
the
have to
ghost in
censor
the
that out.
room.
I think there's been 2 swears Calla said that we might have to censor out.
Sorry, please do it with like a silly like little noise.
We have that. That's in there.
Okay. But anyway,
I think that when I showed you my like songs last, my most recent song was Dreamer by Leve. And now I have like 4 TV girl songs, more Chaperone, Femtanol.
You're mentally ill.
You know what? You're right.
Anyways,
I'm mentally ill.
Apparently, my recent one is "Listen to the Music" by CG5. I've never listened to that song.
You know what? No, you know what? Hold on. In defense of CG5, he was with us in the trenches during the FNAF era. That man.
You don't have to yell.
Sorry. That man was in the ditch with the rest of the FNAF community back when he was like making FNAF music. That man was like fighting along with us in the war of being FNAF fans.
Fair enough, I suppose.
He did have some good songs for that, though.
Now he just like, I think what it is he falls under like nerdcore, but like most people already don't like nerdcore, and I'm not really big on it either. Like I had a boyfriend who really liked nerdcore, and every time he showed it to me, it was the most like...
What is nerdcore exactly?
So have you ever seen any of those videos where it's like a rap battle about like... It's like a rap about like a show or video game or something, and it's supposed to be like a character rapping.
Like the gotcha stuff?
There's probably some sort of like nerdcore video about like Genshin or something, but no, it's
probably. Oh, okay.
So like for example, JT Machinima I think has made some of those like the bendy rap or something like that.
Welcome to the underground.
No, that's nerdcore. Straight up. That's nerdcore. Nerdcore is like, okay, it's not just the rap. Like, it's just any kind of, like, fandom music, I guess. But a really big one is, like, the raps, and they're really corny to me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I felt so bad. Because he would be like, oh, there's a song I really like. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's this Broly rap. And I'm just like... I'm like... Broly, like, from Dragon Ball.
Oh.
Or it would be like... Or it would be like Baki or something.
On the topic, have you seen... Okay, you know outside the building, we have like this wall of posters and stuff. Have you seen the Wanted Dead or Alive posters of like anime characters?
No.
No? Oh, wait. Is it like a Wanted poster with like a money amount? That's from One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece.
I haven't seen them in this building, but I love One Piece. I love it.
There were about like 5 Wanted posters on that. Like,
do you remember
place.
any of the character names?
No.
Was there one for Zoro?
There was. What is that? What is the one guy?
That doesn't narrow it down.
He wears the hat and like has the.
That doesn't narrow it down.
The little reindeer?
No, he wears like the red vest thing.
That's Luffy.
Yeah.
Luffy.
That
yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
That's
Luffy.
my boy, Monkey D. Luffy.
That is one of the best protagonists ever.
Yeah, he was there.
He's awesome. I love
$500,000.
And no, it was 500 million berries.
That's a lot of berries.
That is a lot of berries.
I hope they're all strawberries.
It's the money in One Piece.
I'll eat it.
It's paper money.
I'll eat it
raspberries.
anyways.
Called berries.
I'll eat it anyways.
A single berry is it is spelled. It is literally spelled like the fruit, but it's like paper money.
Well, then I deserve every single chance I have to eat it. Anyways, I have 6,308 songs on my likes playlist on Spotify.
Mama, do you just hear something? Be like, I like a singular second of this.
Okay, no. Here's the thing. So most of these, I've had this account since I was about 13.
13-year-old Cal must have been an experience to be around.
Mama.
I think that I lost my original Spotify account, and then I had to remake a new one and like find all of my old songs that I used to like.
But yeah, so I've had this account for the longest time now, so that's probably why there's so much on there. Most of it is albums that I've listened to, songs that I come across on Shuffle, on TikTok, that if I want to listen to for later, I'll just put it in my likes playlist. In fact, I tried to make like a main playlist of all of like the things that I rotate around a lot. 125 songs.
Oh wow!
I am very varied.
I have a work playlist.
You've told me about the work playlist,
but you know who hasn't heard about the work playlist? Our viewers.
I also
or
haven't.
Faith. Yeah, Faith also hasn't. It's like 500 songs, and the idea behind it was that when I was working at this one bar and grill, they were like, somebody brought up the idea of like a speaker in the kitchen and like being able to use it. I was like, oh, maybe I could do it sometimes. But I was like, I can't do this with my liked songs, and I won't be able to queue up enough to cover like the fact that I'm working and busy. So I was like, I'll make a playlist. And I was like, what are like the socially acceptable songs that I really like? So a lot of it is like dad rock. But the funny thing is there's like 10 Weezer songs in there.
Yeah. There's like, you'll get like AC/DC, Weezer,
AC/DC, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And then you got Britney Spears and Spice Girls. Wannabe is in there next to like
Buddy Holly, Island in the Sun, or whatever that's called.
Island. Hip, hip. When you're on a holiday.
What's with these homies dissing
My girl, why do they gotta front?
You just got Weezered.
What did we ever
Okay, the bit's over.
do to these guys? You know what? The bit's over when I say it's over. It's over.
It
Well,
is
this
his
episode
show.
can only be so long, Gavin.
Well, it's as long as you want it to be. We're already over 30. We can stay as long as if you want to stay until like 1:30, 1:40.
I have class at 2.
What building do you have it in? Wait, you can stay till like 1:40.
Okay. Anyways,
Make it like a 15-minute one.
so what were we talking about? Oh yeah, your work playlist.
Right, the work playlist. So literally, hold on, let me open it up and give you guys an example of how like scattered this thing is. Because the idea was, what can I play that's socially acceptable around a bunch of like my age to like 60-year-olds?
Hotel
60-year-old white man.
California.
That's on there. That's on there.
Let's go.
That's on there. Sorry. So I share my Spotify with somebody, and he adds playlists sometimes, and there's a playlist just called Every Tyler the Creator Song.
Good.
Okay.
But also, why? You can just go to his profile on Spotify and just play the shuffle.
Work music. I found it. Okay. So literally, the first song is Sublime, and then 2 songs later, Say It Ain't So by Weezer. You've got Loser by Beck, Psycho Killer by Talking Heads, Clint Eastwood by Gorillaz, Fat Bottomed Girls by Queen, Toxicity by System of a Down. You got Nirvana on here, AC/DC, White Stripes, Cake, Green Day, Death Cab for Cutie. That's a pretty big jump. That's a huge jump. Stacy's Mom.
I forgot that was on there.
Scotty Doesn't Know.
Scotty doesn't know that Fiona Man
has its thorns. I Want to Rock. We're not going to take it. Eye of the Tiger. Bad by Michael Jackson.
I think I literally told you this when I was going through this work playlist for the first time. Every single song on here is something that would be played on the radio during a flashback, like, you know, like 80s, 90s, and today, like radio sequence. And they play like the same, like,
in like 2000.
and they play like the same 30 songs.
Genie in a Bottle is in here.
Ooh.
SOS by Rihanna is in here.
You just went from like 55-year-old dad that's complaining about
Africa
how
by
music
Toto.
about how music nowadays all sounds the same to 15-year-old girl in 2003.
All Star by Smash Mouth. Into Hey Soul Sister, by the way. Those are back to back.
What?
Super Freak by Rick James. Sandwich between
Back to 55-year-old man.
a sandwich between Play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry and School's Out. Did you know Play That Funky Music was by a white guy?
It is?
Yeah, the Play That Funky Music. Why? Boy, that's a white dude. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me look it up just to be sure. Because somebody told me that, and I could have been lied to. But
That doesn't sound right.
American Funk, those are all white dudes.
No.
Those are all white dudes.
No.
That's crazy.
No.
Last Resort by Papa Roach. Numb by Linkin Park. Hey Ya by Outkast.
You just went from, again, you went from like 13-year-old boy on the brink of killing himself
Skater
to
Boy
15
by Avril Lavigne.
California
Oh
girls.
my God.
Your Love Is My Drug by Kesha. Misery Business by Paramore.
Oh my, we're back to the 15-year-old girl again.
Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Marvin Gaye.
We are back to the 55-year-old man.
Gavin is 2 things. He is either a 55-year-old man or a teenage girl in her bedroom in 2003.
Mr. Brightside by The Killers.
Mama, he isn't 2 people. He's an entire white picket fence family.
I am a nuclear family.
You were a American traditionalist nuclear
Okay.
family with 2 kids,
That's-
a dog, and a white picket fence, and a house
Keep
that
in
lives
mind
in
though.
suburbia.
Keep in mind though. The work playlist was catered for those types of people.
Which, I mean, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, my liked songs has things like Femtanol and TV Girl on it, which
Mitski.
I have so
Do
much
you have
Mitski.
any Sir Chloe?
Sir Chloe? I don't believe
Ooh,
so.
that's a good one.
But genuinely, like my liked songs are so eclectic, it's insane. Like, what do you mean that Joyride is sandwiched between Linger by the Cranberries and Fly Day Chinatown?
Your likes playlist is more symptomatic than a disaster bisexual's like diagnosis of depression and ADHD.
Are You Waiting by Stomach Book?
I think you need to be on
Stomach bug?
medication.
So Stomach Book is like this sort of breakcore indie. Literally in the genre list is the term furry. It's literally like furry indie breakcore music, and kind of breakcore. It's not all breakcore, but it's Faith looks shook right now.
Most of what my main playlist is made of is 3 different albums from the Deftones,
Of course.
Mine is Noah Khan.
And I love her
2
mom,
different albums from Teddy
but it's
Hyde.
the
Season of the Sticks.
and I.
Saw your
Hosier's
She
most-
forgot that I exist.
I'm gonna kill you.
But
And
I
I'm so,
doubt
anyway,
it.
okay, we gotta stop.
I was trying
We
to
gotta stop.
I wanted to see how long you guys would do that bit for if I didn't say anything. Anyways,
That's 3 separate song breaks for no reason.
Yep.
Maya had a transition into like the fading into like you two are just like singing it, and Maya just that it's like in post just the transition there, and it just fades away into silence, and then it comes back.
She's got to like make it to where like first there's the teenage dirtbag, and then you try to start talking with the other thing, and then we just like it just slowly fades in the stick season.
Yeah. Anyways, after the 2 Teddy Hyde albums on my main playlist, it's then the entirety of Unreal, Unearthed, Unheard, which was the expanded edition of Hosier's 3rd album.
Yes.
I'd rather take my
And then
whiskey.
Americana by The Offspring.
Mama.
And then Channel Orange by Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean, I would listen to your music, but you like boys.
And then it's a couple of Femtanol, and it's a couple of Chapel.
Hey, let's go. You're on a roll.
No, we're not doing that here. That we've reached quota. That's 3 different songs that you
You can't even quote that much of Katamari by Femtanol. That song only has like 4 lines.
Anyways, so and then it's a couple of Chapel, and then
H-O-T-T-O-G-O.
Snap and clap and touch your toes. Razor.
okay, and then it's 2 different albums from a band called Hoosiers, unrelated to Hosier.
Unrelated band called Hoosiers. No relation.
No
They're
relation.
actually from Whoville, guys.
They're actually from Whoville.
Actually, it's really funny. So the Hoosiers are a British band.
Can I have my phone back?
No. So the Hoosiers are a British band, but Hosier is Irish, like Irish born.
Oh my god, a friend of mine called Hosier country music the other day, and I almost vomited.
No,
No.
that's vile.
Like,
That's
listen, I have an appreciation for older country music and well-written country music, but Hosier is not country music.
Definitely
He's not country.
He's Irish,
He's so many different sort of genres.
but he's not country.
He's not country.
I don't know why she was talking about.
Could you imagine if Hosier released a country album?
I forget the name of it.
I'd
Is the
rather
song-
take my whiskey.
my coffee black in my bed at
I almost
3.
fell off my chair.
But no, that's the song that she thought was country.
You're too sweet for
For
me.
me.
No, that's not country at
My
all.
lover's got humor. She's the giggle at a funeral. To everybody's disapproval. Should've worshipped her sooner. We were born sick. Heard them say it.
Anyways, and then I also have the entirety of How to Be a Human Being by Glass Animals.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
And then it ends on If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys.
Tell me
Of
why
course
I
it
turned
does.
country there for a second.
Dude, no. Sometimes the McDowell accent comes out of me and it's scary.
Well, thankfully, I'm not from West Virginia, so I don't have an accent.
Everybody
has an accent. You just don't have a southern one.
Bo Burnham.
The way you... Bo Burnham?
Bo Burnham. Well, look who's inside again.
Went out to look for a reason to hide again. We've got you surrounded.
They're like staring at me.
Yeah. You're
But no,
locked in this room with us. You're never leaving.
I really like that Funny Feeling by Bo Burnham. And there it is again, that funny feeling.
Is this just going to turn into a podcast where we just sing songs?
This definitely. Do you think this will get copyrighted, guys?
This is music
I
that
don't
will
think
get
so.
copied.
Not if we're like singing like a little. We're singing it with our own voices and only a little bit,
True.
right? So we're fine.
Okay, well,
Maya, if you know more about copyright law than me and you think that that's a problem, then like
Half
clip it a
of
bit.
our
Clip it out.
podcast will be gone.
Well,
clip it out and replace it with you talking about something, anything of your choosing.
Yeah. You know what? You know what? If you ever have to cut something out and you're like, man, I need to up the time on this, then feel free. Just like
Go
start talking,
ham.
man. Just start talking.
Just start talking. Anyways, it's about 1:37.
Would you
right
like to wrap up, Cal?
Let's wrap up, please.
Okay, everybody. That was episode 2 of Yapaholics Anonymous with your host, Gavin Reynolds, co-host Cal, and other co-host, Faith, both of equal importance.
Ooh.
Cal is sniffing the mic like a dog again. Anyway, thank you to everybody who listened. Thank you to my wonderful editor, Maya, and shout out to my friend Jay, who I know watched the last episode. So if you watched the very end of this one, hi, Jay. Hi. Hi. Okay. All right, everybody. I think that's wraps. So, everybody listening, have a nice day, have a nice week, and happy
safe.
Halloween. This will be released.
Happy Halloween.
This will be posted after Halloween, but it was recorded on Halloween. So happy Halloween.
safe.
It's 80 degrees outside, and I hate the rich and powerful.
Stay safe on your whenever this comes out.
Eat
Probably
all the shampoo in your house.
Friday, Saturday. I don't know.
I think I ate. What is it? How does it go? I ate shampoo. Probably gonna die. Smelled like fruit. That was a lie. Looked at the bottle. No, wait. Wait, no. I forgot how it goes. I'm ashamed to my friends.
Maybe the ghost will be back next episode.
You're right. Maybe you will. All right. We are. Ooh. All right. I think it's time to officially wrap up. So goodbye, everybody, and have a wonderful day.